if you say sine x plus 60 is equal to 0.3, now this is given in degrees as well. As you can see, this angle has a transformation in it. So we have to first look for all the possible solutions for x plus 60 and then subtract x from here. But if you really want, you can even find x straight away. In the sense, what I'm trying to say is you can say sine inverse 0.3 is equal to x plus 60. And since x does not have any other stretch or a reflection, this is just a translation, right? This is just a translation. So the number of solutions won't change. In other words, if I say the sine x curve looks like this, the number of intersections with 0.3, if 0.3 is here, if there are two intersections right here, if this curve moves to the front or moves to the back, then let's say, for example, sine x plus 60 is a curve like this. So this curve moving to the front or back actually does not change the number of solutions, so it's fine. But so you can make x the subject here right away and find all possible solutions. But there are certain instances where the period of the curve changes, like let's say original curve looks like this, but when if the original curve is sine x, and if you have to draw sine 2x looks like this, isn't it? Yeah. So the number of solutions doubles. For example, if you say sine 2x equals to half or something, if you draw a line at half, earlier there were only 2 solutions, now there are 4 solutions. So you might miss some of the solutions and you might calculate wrongly some of the solutions, right? Actually, you might get this value and this value here, but you might miss this value and this value, right? If you use sine 2x, if you straight away find x. Do you get what I mean? So here, if you want, you can first find x, but I recommend, because sometimes students don't understand this, so they make mistakes. So I recommend to use x plus 60 right away. Find all possible solutions for x plus 60 first. So if you get sine inverse 0.3, you get 17.446, right? 17.46. So get it to always get it to roughly around 4 significant figures and finally simplify to 3, right? So when you draw the 4 quadrants from 0 to 360 is somewhat like this. And then the 2 angles that we have to consider are in the first quadrant because the sine value is positive. Therefore, first quadrant and the second quadrant. Right here it is 17.46, right here also 17.46. Basically the y value here, the height of this would be 0.3, that's what it means. Now to get all possible values, x plus 60 is either equal to, now this is the principal value that helped us draw this diagram. And then the possible solutions are 17.46 and the other one would be from here to here, the other one would be from here to here, 180 minus 17.46. So what is the answer for 180 minus 17.46? 162.54, right? And then subtract 60 from each of these values. So as you can see, subtracting 60 from each of these values here would give a negative answer. Therefore, just to make sure, I'm going to find one more value. That means go another entire round up to 360, find one more value. Do you know why I'm doing this? Because x is between 0 and 360, but x plus 60 would be between 60 and 420, isn't it? Add 60 to each term of this inequality, right? So the last value would be 360 plus 17.46, that's 377.46. and then subtract 60 from each of these values to get the final solution. This is not included because when you subtract 60 it's a negative answer, you don't have to even calculate. Here when you subtract 60, 102.54, subtract 60, 317.46, right? So those are the final answers. By the way, our answer should be given to three significant figures, right? So x is equal to 102.5 and 317.5 degrees. Yeah, so that is the final answer. So if you are not sure, you can also use the curve, even if you draw the sine curve. Now here you are supposed to initially draw sine x plus 60 and then solve it. If sine x plus 60 means the sine curve moved to the back by 60 degrees, so the curve kind of looks like this. The maximum point is at 30. This is minus 60. So this distance is 90 units. So we draw the curve like this. So move to the back by 60. This is 120. Add another 90. You get 210. Plus 90 is 300. So this is how the curve looks like. If you draw a line at 0.3, let's say this is 0.3, this is 1, just for clarity. And then these are the two solutions within 0 and 360, but we are supposed to get values from 0 to 420. Therefore, if you draw further, like 300, the next value is supposed to be 300 plus 90 is 390. So when you draw a line at 0.3, there's one more solution right here. So this one and this one are the solutions that we have counted. This one is not counted because it's not within the range. From 0 to 420 is what we check the values for, right? Is it all clear?